Good morning to you. Good morning to YouTube. Good morning to you. So far, I'm all by myself, but hopefully somebody will come on. Um, I have a video on my channel and it says to fake it till you make it, but I just want you to know that there are days that it's okay to have a bad day. And my friend Darlene Norgasar, she's having a bad day. She's spent most of the week at the hospital with her mother-in-law, also known as Shy Dove or Mama to those of us who love her. And she is tired. She's exhausted. She just can't do it today. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm her friend. I'm gonna go on here. If I gotta do this by myself, I will do it by myself. But here I am, pouring it all out, pouring it all out on YouTube. Hopefully somebody will come in and join me, but you know what? I'll stay on for a little while and see. And if not, then life will move on. Well, good morning, Andar. Good morning to Ann. Good morning to you. Good morning to Ann. Good morning to you. Good morning, Ann. Thanks for joining me. I was just saying that sometimes it's okay to have a bad day and to take a day off. And Darlene needed to take a day off. She's been with Mama at the hospital all week and she's real tired. And sometimes we have to take a step back and remember that even though most of the days when we live with chronic pain or chronic disease or all kinds of things, that's right, you're GR, buddy. Um, we fake it till we make it most days, but some days we just have to take care of ourselves. And today that's what Darlene needs to do, and that's what she's doing. She's taking care of herself. And I can respect that. I will respect that because she's my friend and I love her. And I know that everybody has to step back and say, hey, too much today sometimes. So, good morning, Darlene B. Good morning to you. Good morning, Darlene B. Good morning to you. Darlene, good morning. Our other Darlene, Norgus, is having a rough day. She's just exhausted from spending the week at the hospital with Mama and everything that she's gone through with Mama. And so she's taken a day to take care of herself. And we're going to respect that. And we're going to have a little show and go on in her presence and for her, because I love her. She's my friend, and I love all of you guys, and I love talking to you guys, and you guys are my morning therapy. And um, sometimes I just need morning therapy, so this is what I'm doing today: little morning therapy online. And it is Friday, Crazy Hat Day. I have my Army hat on today. I do have an Army shirt on today, Army Strong. So it's Army Day today for Tracy. We, as we can see in the background, I have two sons that have spent time in the Army. God bless their souls for volunteering to save my soul, save our country. My oldest is still in the National Guard. So, and my youngest roommate is actually still in the National Guard. So I still have a lot of connection to the Army in a lot of ways. In fact, my youngest one's roommate is deploying in the winter. Good morning, Denise. Good morning to you. Good morning, Denise. Good morning to you. Good morning, Denise. I love you too. Thank you so much. Your husband's in the special forces, Anne? Is he active or was he past special forces? That's a lot of hard work. Special forces do a lot of stuff for our country that they can't talk about. No one can talk about. No one knows what's going on. Well, there are people that know what's going on, but, they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff that keep us safe that we never know about, and that takes special individual to be in the special forces, that's for sure. For sure. Past, yeah, that's a stressful situation though. Like I said, they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff to keep our country safe that the majority of the people in this country don't even know about. Um, I know I have a friend whose brother it was in Air Force intelligence, and I do know that there's a lot of stuff that we don't know every day that goes on that keeps us safe. And we just need to be thankful and thank a service member always. So thank you, Andar's husband, for serving our country. I appreciate it. What do you guys want to talk about this morning? It's Friday. It's Friday. I got my grandson Callan here today because it's Labor Day weekend holiday for his school, even though he just started first grade on Monday. He's off today and Monday for the Labor Day holiday and started a new school. He's doing really good, and I'm so proud of him that he's doing well. And Brantley's in first grade at his same school he was at last year, so proud of him too. He's been doing really good this year so far, so good. No, made it through the first week of school without getting the parents called. So for Brantley, that was a great week because Brantley is his daddy's boy, and daddy got home called a lot when he was in school. And he got suspended in the first grade, which Brantley's now in first grade. I didn't even know that they suspended kids in the first grade. When the principal called me and he was like, Mrs. Sickus, you can keep Jimmy home from school tomorrow. And I was like, no, I can't. I have to go to work. My husband has to go to work. I won't be keeping him home. He was like, no, you don't understand. You are keeping Jimmy home tomorrow. And I was like, no, we got things to do. We got to work. I don't have a babysitter. My kids go to school and I have a babysitter in the summer, but they kind of stayed at that point where would stay home together on days off. But Jimmy was, um, I went to Comstock Park. I am a Comstock Park High School graduate, and my kids both graduated from Comstock Park too. And well, Kalen went to Comstock Park last year, but now he's going to Chandler Woods right here off of Pulse Road, which is right down the road or right around the corner from where I live, which is kind of nice because Papa picks him up after school every day. But yeah, so the principal called me and he was like, you are keeping him home. And I was like, are you saying he's suspended in first grade? You do that? He was like, yes, we do, ma'am. And I was like, oh my gosh. Only my child, first grade, suspended, bad behavior. But, you know, you work with it. But the kid was very OCD. He very much was, I'm large and in charge, and he still can be that way. Of course, now he is large and in charge at his job. So it's kind of funny how it has worked to his advantage in the long run. But man, as a first grader trying to tell his teacher what she was going to do, it just did not work. And then it was a substitute teacher. She sent him to the office. He pulled the table. It was a two-kid table, and he pulled that table all the way down to the office, left the poor kid that shared the table with him just sitting there without a table. And yeah, so they suspended him. They had to keep him home for a day. It was kind of crazy. Oh, awesome, Denise. I mean, I know that there was like my dad was in the army, and so my family traveled, but that was before me. Um, so that's kind of cool. Good morning to Joy. Good morning to you. Good morning to Joy. Good morning to you. And I'll even sing your little Darlene song. Joy to Darlene's world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Darlene's Joy. I love you too, Joy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We were talking about some Air Force. So Denise was a Air Force brat, as they used to call them, and traveled all over. And Mama is home from the hospital, Joy, so that is good. She is home from the hospital. Darlene is just wiped out from spending every day at the hospital with her, which is certainly understandable. So she's just wiped out and needs to take a day to recover for herself. Plus, I'm sure Mama still has needs that are going to have to be met by somebody at the house. So that means Darlene or Casey. Because I'm sure that it's difficult for her to get around still at this point till she gets healed up a little bit more. But she is home, and as far as I know, is doing pretty good. So, yeah, that's definitely answer prayers. Thank goodness for answer prayers. But, yeah, so some days we fake it till we make it. Some days we have to stop and stay home and take care of ourselves because that's what we need to do. And that's what Darlene is doing today. So I'm just having a little chit chat on here, and who knows what I'm chit chatting about? I'm not even sure at this point. But Andar, you went to Ottawa, like West Ottawa, or my my oldest nephew, his son goes to Mona Shores School, so I'm sure you're familiar where that is, but that's where he goes, Mona Shores Public Schools. Of course, he's a kindergartner, so he's got a ways to go. My great nephew, he's got a ways to go, but he's started kindergarten. And my babies are in first grade. I can't believe they're in first grade already. My firstborn grandchildren. They go so fast. I remember when my own babies were that age, and now their kids are there, and just goes too fast. It just goes by way too fast. How do we get here? How do we get to be, feeling like we were young and spry to feeling old and gray by Calvin College? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. On Burton Street. Very familiar. I went to, I know that Just Sandy is waiting for her heart cath that she gets waiting for them. I saw something yesterday that she gets very tired and very exhausted easily, but she's still waiting for the additional stuff that they were going to do. Good morning to Craig. Good morning to you. Good morning to Craig. Good morning to you. Well, welcome, Craig, to Tracy's channel. I am honored. I am honored. I was kind of hoping that my buddy Derek would pop on this morning for a little while before you guys' show, but and then maybe Destiny would hop on by the time you guys were ready to go on, so we could stay on for just a hair longer. But how did you get here? You don't know. How did you get here? I'm so proud. I'm honored. The land shark picker is on my channel in my chat. You're like big YouTube star compared to me, Pretty impressive. But yeah, so I haven't heard any more news, Joy, on Just Sandy, other than she's very exhausted and very tired out, and she is waiting for a heart cath. Happy birthday, Landshark Picker Craig. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Craig. Happy birthday to you. And good morning, Darlene. Good morning to you. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning to you. You don't usually get that sung to you, Darlene. You just hear it sung to everybody. You're my clapper. Where's my clapper? No, I do know you're tired and I get it. Everyone's been asking about Mama and aw, thanks, Craig. I'm so glad I was your first this morning. Now you fit your gray hair. I was just talking to my mom about this yesterday. I actually started getting my hair started making a change to gray when I was in high school, and I colored my hair for years until about 3 or 4 years ago. I colored it, covered the gray until about 3 or 4 years ago. I finally gave up and just let it be gray. It's gonna be gray. It's gonna be gray. I'm 55 years old and a nana to three, so I figured I might as well just fit the part and be gray. Good morning to Jennifer. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jennifer. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, Jennifer. Good morning to Kimmy. Good morning to you. Good morning to Kimmy. Good morning to you. Hey, Kimmy, you want to join me? I'm in here all by myself trying to keep it chatting, and I don't know what to chat about, but I'm a talking like a fool. Yeah, I can't believe that Craig had a birthday. Clap, clap. Thank you. Thank you, Darlene. You need to get some rest. I did say that she has been very tired out that I know of, and I know that she's waiting for a heart cath, but I don't know a lot more than that. I know that Liz Ann talked to her the other day. We just need to keep Sandy in our prayers. I know that she's struggling right now with a lot, with exhaustion and everything else. Kids' school. Oh, yeah, didn't think about that. Make lunches and get them off to school. That's okay, Kimmy. I appreciate that you even stopped in, even to say happy birthday to Craig, because I was so touched that the Landshark Picker came into my chat. I didn't know quite how to handle it. I was a little bit starstruck. Yeah, Darlene is in the chat here and there. She's just worn out. It's been a long week with Mama in the hospital, and I get that. I told her that you don't have a choice when you sit at the hospital with somebody through all of that stuff. Um, it's just long and exhausting and tiring, and you'll get a big head. Well, I figure you guys always joke that, he's in the retirement home, that, maybe he has a little bit of Alzheimer's and he'll forget that I was so starstruck by tomorrow. We'll never know. But so it's Friday. We had some we had a really bad storm last night. Wow, like crazy. I thought my lights were going to go out. I started lighting candles and getting ready in case the power went out, but then we never did lose power, thank goodness. But it stormed pretty hard here last night for a little bit. Oh, now it's chilly. I had to close all the windows because it was storming, and then it was humid in the house because it was storming. So I had to turn on the air, and then I get up this morning at 61 degrees. So I turn off the air, open up the windows. It's like such a back and forth this time of year up here in Michigan. You just never know what you want to do. Air on, air off, air on, air off. as Al Roker would say, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods, everyone? Is anybody down there? We don't have anyone in here, I don't think, in Florida at this point yet. I sure am praying for everybody. I know a lot of people in Florida because from those of us in the Great White North, we have a lot of people that end up going to Florida as they get older. So I know a lot of people that live down there and am certainly praying for anybody in the path of the hurricane. Yeah, Craig, do you have any plans for your birthday? Or was it just to pop in here so that I would sing to you? Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo. Now you'll have that song in your head all day. I have my grandson Kalen here for the day because they don't have school. Our kids are off for the Labor Day holiday, Kimmy. They're off today and Monday for the Labor Day weekend. No plans. Craig, I at least make my husband take me out to dinner on my birthday. You know, at least I go out to dinner or something, get out of the house. I love you too, darling. You know I do. Oh boy. Yeah, my kids are out and grown. Good morning, Lizanne. You get a chance, if you get home and I get a chance and want to pop on with me, I would love to have you. Hint, hint, hint. Oh, she only goes to school 4 days a week at her school. I heard of that. And a friend of mine in Georgia, her kids only go 4 days a week. That's kind of crazy. Car races tomorrow, like at a little local track, or we have a little quarter-mile track. It's a little more than a quarter mile, maybe. Just down the road from us, a little piece called Berlin Raceway. It's a pretty fun place to go. But the big race is at Talladega this weekend. Talladega. And of course, NASCAR Man 3345. We got races on his channel tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to tune in for that. NASCAR Man 3345. NASCAR Racing. Will be Hot Night at the Tracks on Derek's channel this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I get it, Lizanne. I get it. Well, when you get done, if you're interested, please pop on. I sent the link out. I can't afford Craig to pop on. I'm poor. I'm on disability, Social Security, so I'm on a limited income, you know. So I have to send my husband out to work. Back in the day when I did work, I was the main income for the family. So when one of our kids was sick and needed to stay home and needed to go to the doctor, Rank did all of that stuff. So once I became disabled and that became my job, that was kind of an odd turn of events for us. Oh, yeah, it's when you get the kids from school, Kimmy. Can you get it in the car or it's hard to get, and sometimes it's hard to get it in the car. What did I have for breakfast this morning? I didn't eat breakfast this morning. No breakfast for Tracy this morning. Oh, yes, I did. I ate my leftover dinner from last night. So I had a part of a ham sandwich. Service is horrible. Yeah, that's hard. Oh, that's sad because it is fun. I mean, it is fun to be in those races, but I get it when you can't listen and you're in the car and you can't get a good sound signal and you're dropping signal every other place and you're trying to drive, so although Lily's pretty good with the phone, I'm sure, but it's still hard to keep trying to get back on as you lose signal. It seems like even here, and we're not that pretty flat country compared to Colorado. We go in a dip or go up over a hill and you lose signal. And it's like, geez, Louise, how does that happen? Or as my friend Arlene loves it when I say, Oy vey, I can't believe that happened. But yeah, so we have to keep praying for Mama's continued healing, keep praying for Sandy. Um, all the people in the path of the hurricane, that's going to be a scary one this weekend. And even though I live in the north now, I lived down in Georgia for a couple of years, and just that couple of years down where we would get the outer bands of the tropical storms and stuff. You live right next to the tower too. That's funny. Um, we would get the outer bands of a lot of the storms that hit Florida in the Florida area. So I was very aware of all of that stuff when we lived down there. Um, so now, and I'm kind of a science geek anyway. So I like to watch the converging tracks of the different models and how they come up with their models and all of that stuff. So I'm geek enough to sit and watch the Weather Channel for the entire day. I will probably this weekend, once I don't have kids that want to watch cartoons, I will probably have the Weather Channel on in at least one room all weekend long while this is going on because I just feel like I need to know. I need to know. I got to know what's going on. I always tell that to my husband when he wants to watch something else, and I'm like, I know that I do understand that some people the news is very depressing, and it is, but I feel like I need to know what's going on in the world, so I have to watch that news every day and see what's going on in the world because I guess I'm too nosy that something might happen and I might miss it. I might not know what happened. I like to know. I got to know. But you know. So yeah, I'll have the Weather Channel on in one room or another all weekend, probably in my bedroom because Rank doesn't is not a big one to watch that kind of stuff nonstop. So I'll pop on the Weather Channel in my bedroom so that every time I get an opportunity, I'll pop in there and see what's up, where they're at, how it's going, how close it is to landfall and all of that stuff, and where it looks like it's gonna hit and who do I know in that area? It's just all that crazy geeky stuff that goes through my head. The only time it won't be on is when I go to mass on Sunday morning. And my pew buddies won't be there because they're going camping this weekend. So Trace's gonna be sitting in that front pew by herself. Yep, you'll be watching then. Yeah, holy moly. What coast are they, or are they in the middle, Kimmy? What part of Florida? I have friends in Miami. I have friends in the Tampa area. I have friends that are up by the Space Coast. So I've got and I know Darlene's got family in Panama City, East Coast. Yeah, I have a feeling you're on the Gulf Coast in Central Florida. So you are like Naples area ish. There's the link if anyone wants to join me. What's in Central? Yeah, that would be like Naples, Tampa, Sarasota ish. It's going to be a rough weekend, especially on a holiday weekend. That all of that going on, I think that makes it more difficult for the everything, evacuation and everything, because you got tourists and everything else in the in the way, tourists trying to get out because they had plans to go down there, and now the hurricanes come in. Sarasota-ish. See, I know my geography. That's why I watch the news. I'm a little crazy geeky weather nerd, geography nerd, history nerd, every kind of nerd. That's all right. I don't mind being a nerd. Nope, Nokomis, kind of like Okama. What do we have here in Michigan? Okamos, Okamus. You know, nerds rule. Dang straight. Yeah, do stay safe, Anne. If they're telling you to evacuate, evacuate. Although it looks like all of Florida is gonna get some ramifications from this storm, because it looks like it's definitely gonna hit at some point, and bounces off the whether it bounces off the coast and goes out into the Atlantic Ocean, or whether it crosses the whole peninsula. It's be crazy. It's gonna definitely get some hit.
Hey,
Hello, Darlene.
hey, can you hear me?
I can sure hear you. How's Mama
Okay,
doing today? People are
she,
asking.
she's still asleep,
Yeah,
so I think she might have been up on the computer last night.
yeah. She might have been checking up on her friends. I'm sure she missed her friends all week while she was in the hospital.
Well, I have one of her hangout. Am I echoing? I have one of her hangout friends that she's been doing hangouts with for years. She sent me a message and asked about her, so I know she wasn't on at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm tired, I know she is. Bless her heart.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's terrible. Um, yeah. They're all laughing at your name, Norgus dragging.
But at one point, I was in there and she had beeping on both sides, like some malfunction, something. And oh my gosh, you guys, I bet 20 minutes it was constant beeping. So she's there every time she goes to sleep, she'd beep again and wake
Oh,
her up.
jeez. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And then I'd get home and get attacked by Bailey because I would, have been gone all day. So,
Yeah. So then Bailey wouldn't let you be and wanted to be right
oh
on your side every second.
And now I see how you guys feel when you miss Porch Church
Mm-hmm.
because I try to listen to it in the hospital and then I'd like start going to sleep because like you said, Tracy, it is Casey has that way of reading that.
He just has a really soothing voice. If I'm having a rough day, that's the best thing I can do is lay down and put on Porch Church and so sometimes when I'm having a rough day, like on the weekend even, I'll put on an older one and just lay down, because his voice is just so soothing to me when he's reading the Bible that it
He ought to do a voice, he really ought to do a reading or get
Yeah,
his voice out there.
for
To
relaxation, because I think if he was intending to be relaxing and he would be like he'd probably have me asleep in 5 minutes if he was trying to. I mean, if he was just like in that soothing reading cadence that he has, I would be out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's not like a, oh my gosh, oh what the dry eye man, the dry eye commercial man. He's not
Hmm.
like that. He, I just don't know. It's easier when I'm sitting there following along in the Bible with him than I can stay focused. But
Right,
other than that, I just kind of,
right.
I hear him, but I just get
That's what I do.
relaxed.
When I'm following along, I do just fine. When I've got my Bible in front of me and I'm following along, I do just fine. But when I'm having a rough day and I need to just relax, I just close my eyes and have that on, and oh, just so relaxing. And most of the time, it will knock me out for a bit.
And I was very proud that he went on how many days this week without me with
I
him.
know, all naked without his mom.
Yeah, he kills me saying that. Uh, so yeah,
Listen.
I made it.
hey, hello.
Hey,
Yay! Thank you,
everybody.
Lizanne.
Hey, it's been crazy this morning. We've got a whole new schedule this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but anyway, it's working out. So I'm just dragging heels today because I don't know, just don't have any energy. But anyway,
Uh,
I'm here. And
and
my,
I
my
have
phone,
heard. Ann said, "Have we heard Charles Swindoll?" Yes, I love to hear him.
yes, Chuck Swindoll. Yeah, he's great.
Have you ever heard him, Tracy?
No, I haven't.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
based out of California, I believe.
he's been around forever, but you need to like look up his name.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
a preacher, isn't he, Liz Ann?
I'll
yes,
write
he
that
is.
down.
He's real good. He's real good.
Is he
Uh,
good? He's
Dr.
not like
James
one of the
Dobson.
crazy evangelistic.
No, no,
Well,
no.
he's an evangelistic type person, but he's not crazy.
He
Okay,
He's not one of
that's
those
what I
that's
meant.
out there.
That's what I meant.
His
Yeah.
his is he's grounded. He is well grounded.
and he's not one that's telling you I'll send you this if you send me
Right.
money. And no, I've
Yeah,
never.
that's what I meant by the
Yeah.
evangelistic type, because
There,
that's what
yeah.
when all they do is, oh, you'll be healed if you just send us $1,000.
Oh, no, he's not like
Right.
that at all.
He he is in the line to me of like I'm brain dead. I got my eyes closed because my computer screen. But Liz Ann, who is the one that Graham, Billy Graham?
Yeah.
Mm,
To me,
Yeah.
he because I love Billy Graham right up to he passed away.
Yeah.
He reminds me of him, but
Yeah.
on a smaller scale. I don't think he packed out like stadiums like Billy Graham did, but he just
Yeah.
right.
I don't think that was his goal. So
no, it wasn't.
I think he
So
just has his church and he preaches at his church. I think
yeah,
he does special speaking things, but not like you say, not on the grand scale like those huge
but
revival
his
type things. Yeah.
What was
his
that
voice.
guy that did the Crystal Church, the Glass Church or something back when I was a
Oh,
kid?
Falwell? Was that Jerry Falwell?
No.
No, I don't know, but I know you're talking about. This isn't him.
Are you talking about the first? Oh, are you talking about the one that got put in prison?
No. Uh-uh.
Ain't that sad that when you try to think of pastors that have done things that you say, oh, is it the one that got put in prison?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, well, we find out that they're human beings too.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Right. I
But
think sometimes
they're-
I think fame, mm,
Yeah.
allowed the devil and greed to take over in some of their cases, that I
Yeah.
think that in the beginning their intentions may have been good, but
Yeah.
Well, on a small, small, small scale, Tracy, that you and Liz knows that I had to, step back and reground and think, okay, now, am I carrying on a ministry or is it just showtime? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
right, right,
Uh-huh.
You two know more than anybody in the chat because how many times we have to do prayer before we start because
Mm,
to get things grounded.
yeah,
right.
exactly,
So on a huge scale, can you imagine once people start having thousands and thousands of followers back then? I mean, actual
right.
people to travel to
Travel to
see.
see you. Hmm.
Yeah. And you had a TV program and you had,
Right, and that was a big deal back in the day when we only had like the networks, the major networks, and that was it,
right,
you know? We
right.
had 3 channels on our
Exactly.
TV.
Yep.
Yeah, and the elderly that couldn't get out. Of
Right,
course, they would support their pastors because they believed in you. You give your 10%. So who were they going to give their
Hmm.
10% to, other than whichever TV evangelist that they watched every Sunday morning?
right,
Right.
right. And then as soon as
So
they
they
would
spent
send
their
in
money.
any money, then they would just bombard them with mail for requests for more money and
Exactly.
more money and more money.
And and then because they felt compelled out of guilt or obligation,
Mhm.
and thankfulness maybe, there might have been, just they took advantage of people, I think.
But then I
Mhm.
have to think how much money it took for these people to pay their staff, to pay to do live TV
Yeah.
Mhm.
and all that. So we never see the behind the scenes.
Well, that is
Right.
true.
That's
That is
true.
true. But when you start putting dollar amounts out there, if you'll send $500 or like she said $1,000,
Oh
we
my.
can, do this for you or that for you. Well, people are going to bite on that. Maybe they don't have
Vulnerable
the money,
people do,
but they'll
right.
send it
But you know
and they'll
what? They
tell
got
people.
their blessing though. In their heart, they
Yeah,
in their
that's true.
pure heart, they did
Yeah.
according to what their heart. So
Mhm.
I believe those people still got their blessing,
Oh, yeah. But they
no
were taken
matter.
advantage of.
Oh
Mhm.
gosh.
But anyway, let's get off of that.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
get on to something happy.
This is Fun Friday,
Happy
right?
because I'm happy. Da 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 da.
And you're
I
tapping your
know.
feet under the table, aren't you?
I still have, and just a little update I did kind of update Darlene. Um, I made phone calls all afternoon yesterday, all over the place about this whole hematology referral. I
Uh
mean, they're
huh.
saying that there's a potential that I'm having some internal bleeding. And I finally said to one nurse, I said, I could be slowly bleeding to death inside, and all I'm getting is the runaround, and I'm not liking this. And
Yeah.
so finally, she got into the system at my primary care's office and found out that the hematologist was requiring me to have more blood work done before they would set up an appointment. So I called my mom quick and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" She was happened to be just leaving her house to run to wash a couple quilts at a laundromat. So she quick picked me up, ran me down to the lab, ran me back home. So I got that done yesterday. So hopefully this
Right.
afternoon I can get that appointment scheduled.
Oh, that'd be such a blessing.
Yeah. I just want to know what's going on.
Well,
I
sure.
don't
You
know
want
what's going
answers.
on with you. I don't like that.
Yeah. Nobody likes to be left in the dark.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. And it's just frustrating. I was talking to my brother, and it's just a different world nowadays when before, if you had something wrong with you, your doctor was such a smaller entity that they would follow you right along. They would be on the phone with you,
Yep.
checking on
Right.
you, and nowadays most of the doctors, like my primary care doctor, technically works for one of the hospitals in town and is just a physician's office, primary care physician practice that works for the hospital. So it's a
Yeah.
big conglomerate, and it's not, you just don't get that same level of
Personal
personalized
touch.
care you used to get.
Right.
When you had your old family
But
doctor that knew everybody in your family, and
right.
you'd run into in the grocery store and they'd be like, "Hey, how's your grandma?"
Exactly.
It's not like
I'm
that
gonna warn
anymore.
y'all. My battery is at 37%,
Okay.
and at that point, when I'm on here, it starts dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to bail out, don't be offended. When I get home, I'll
I
get back on.
Okay, I won't be offended. Trust me, I will not be offended. Good morning to T. Good morning to you. Good morning to T. Good morning to you. T. Darlene
Good
was having
morning.
a rough morning.
I did the clap clap.
She was Norgus dragging. She's exhausted as you can imagine. You know what that's like
That's
when you
me.
spend a week at the hospital with a loved one. She's wiped
Oh
out.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That will do
Ann, I
it.
don't know if it's from a shortage of doctors or if just the um malpractice malpractice insurances and stuff and the cost of doing business as a small town doctor have gone up so much that the conglomerates make it more enticing for them to work in a big hospital practice than just their own, um
Yeah,
where they
I
have
think
to
it's
pay for all of the equipment and they have to pay for all of that stuff, where when they work at these conglomerate offices, the hospital
yeah.
purchases all the supplies, and all of the
I think
and
it
pays
has a
the
lot to
staff.
do with the way the insurance companies are set up these days. You got to be part of this PPO or
Yeah.
an HMO or something like that, and the different doctors are associated with different groups like that.
Yeah.
And so if you are working for a corporation with your license, then you are under whatever PPO or HMO or whatever group
Mhm.
they are with, and I think you get more uh, have the potential of reaching more people because
Right.
you're part of a bigger unit. Whereas by yourself, you might get xed out of the. I think that's pretty much what caused these independent doctors to have to join a group.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think that, I mean, you think about, you go to like my primary care, in the building that my primary care's office is in now, in this conglomerate, I can get
Hmm.
an x-ray, an ultrasound, lab work, all that stuff all done within that building, and it's all part of that same conglomerate.
Right.
They got the lab, they got the mammograms
So
and the ultrasounds and the x-ray and all
yeah.
that stuff,
So
so it
it's
makes it
easier to set
hard.
you up.
Yeah.
It's easier to set you up. Have your practice without having to buy all that equipment.
Right. Right.
You know.
You don't have to have all of that stuff to have a practice. You can, and back in the day, they would, they used to draw your blood at the doctor's office and stick it
Right.
out for the lab, now they just send, when I go to the doctor, they need blood work. They just say, run downstairs to the lab and they'll draw your blood. And
Right. Yeah, I
so,
remember not long ago, ours used to draw the blood and do the lab work there within the last
yeah,
6 or 8 years, and
they
then
just don't do that
then they were sending
anymore.
it out, and yeah, then they were sending it out, and now they don't even draw blood in the office anymore.
Yeah. Now you have to go to a lab.
Right.
I don't know. My primary caregivers, they still draw the blood there. I don't know where they send it, but they still do blood work in the office,
Yeah.
and and uh,
Sorry.
and my rheumatologist used to use LabCorp. That's one. That's a big, and where we live, a big place that does the blood work. But they had LabCorp in there, which meant even though they were in that small little office, they were two different entities, but
Right.
still the insurance paid well for the blood work because it was right there in
Mm-hmm.
office.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's what they don't do the lab work at the lab in the office in my doctor's building. They just draw it and they send it to the hospital lab.
Mm-hmm.
But still they don't,
Yeah.
it's not like in the old days, the doctor's office, they would get pickup maybe 2 times a day from the lab, and now, they have regular pickups at the lab there where I go to get stuff drawn. So, I mean, I asked the girl, I
Mm-hmm.
said, when will they have the results? And she said, since it's before 4 o'clock that I got down there, which I'm glad I went when I did, because if I would have waited for rain, it would have been after 4 probably. But since it was before 4 o'clock, that they should have results this morning sometime.
Oh, good.
So hopefully I can get an appointment now. It's just
That would help a
frustrating.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got a holiday next weekend. So I mean next Monday. So
Good morning to Derek. Good morning to you. Good morning to Derek. Good morning to you. Did you guys see that Dina went live with Destiny last night and Tiffany?
yeah,
No,
that was
Yeah,
cool.
I was
I didn't get to
watching the
watch.
replay this morning
on
I
whose
didn't get to
chat was
watch it,
it?
but
Destiny's.
on Destiny's channel. Yep,
I'll
I'm
go
really
back
proud of
and watch.
her.
yeah,
I'll go back and
yeah.
watch it. No way, she was supposed to come. I'm jealous now.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to get Dina in trouble, but
Well, I have slacked this week, so
wait, no, you haven't. You've had
Well,
mom on that needed
you
you,
family first.
yeah, and needed your attention more than you needed to do
Yeah,
the show.
Derek got to
yeah.
talk to her yesterday in the hospital.
Did he?
Oh,
Yes,
good.
I he FaceTime me, so then I made Mama stick that in her ear, and oh boy, he was giving her the devil about her Cheetos.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Well,
I was on the other day, Tuesday when
I'm
I went
gonna
on for a while,
get
Derek
off.
was talked about that.
I'm jumping off, and I'll catch you at home.
Okay, love you, Liz Ann.
Love you,
My
Liz.
battery's about to croak. All right, love you guys. See y'all soon. Hello,
Okay,
everybody in the chat. You're not rid of me yet.
all right. But yeah, when Derek and I were on Tuesday, that's what he said. Mama's gonna have to give up her Cheetos.
And um, okay, her A1C is level,
Mm-hmm.
so she's not on any diabetic medication.
Mm-hmm.
She has to monitor it daily, and it stays pretty good. But the damage I believe was done, and who
Right.
knows, she may have ended up with neuropathy even had she not had diabetes. Because I'm not diabetic, but I have neuropathy.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
but once that circulation problem began in her legs and feet, um, damage started setting up. And
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't take much, just like they
Well,
doctored, her big toe, and it was looking good. And then just out of the blue, it's what I explain is like a spider bite. The
mm-hmm.
damage starts before you see it on the outside.
Right.
I mean, so she had just seen them last week, and so when she felt
Yeah.
and she has no feeling in her feet, so when she felt something when she was doctoring her big toe, and she saw something, she didn't know what it was. So when she
Right.
pulled on it, she's like, oh my goodness, she come in here and told us, I thought I had a piece of cotton between my toes and I don't know. And I told her, I said, well, you best call a doctor Monday. And you know what? Until she was sitting in that chair, I did not know. It would have freaked me out if she would laid on bed and I would have seen it.
Yeah.
It would have freaked me out. But he does such a great job. He did one on her right foot,
Mhm.
and that podiatrist, you guys, if you ever have feet problems, go go to a podiatrist. Um,
Mhm.
he has saved her life because if she would have just not known any time that her feet were bad like that and not felt it, it could have set, well, it has set up gangrene before. And if that gets to a certain point, you don't make it. So he
Mhm.
has actually not only saved her feet, but he has saved her life.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta
So
sing to Ricardo a minute. Good morning, Ricardo. Good morning to you. Good morning, Ricardo. Good morning to you.
clap, clap.
Yeah, I don't have. Ricardo says that he doesn't have feeling on his left toe. I have parts of my left foot, which is my bad foot, that have no feeling at all. Parts of it. Put your shoes on, please. And you know the boundaries, right? Yes, I know the boundaries, Nana. That's the answer I get. Just gotta check.
Hey, Ricardo, and I want everybody to know that I sat there and read every comment. I told Mama, I said, Mama, me just showing you in the hospital, hundred and something people done saw that, and I said, and I read off each and every person's again yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I even did Joy's voice. I said, all right, Mama, who's this one from? And I did
Aw.
Joy's voice, and she said, my Joy.
Aw. That's so sweet. I'm glad that you read them off to her though, because I think that just knowing for her own self the comfort of all of us that do really do care about her, that that has to make a difference.
Yeah, and even her talking with and I mean I was glad the thumbnail she had a smile. But
Mm-hmm.
once I think she was not so scared, it was okay and she couldn't use her tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sat in there and done that, I did get a smile from her, and then like I said, the next day I went in and read each and every thing that was said, and it was like she just couldn't believe the outpouring. And I said, Mama, your mama.
Yeah, your mama. We all love her.
I said, everybody loves Mama. And, she's in the jewelry community. She's in the um, resale community, which I know you guys I know some of you are probably thinking, well, that's the same thing. It is the same.
It is, but it's not.
Yeah. I call it two different families. We're all the same family,
Mm-hmm.
but, and I started out watching uh, auctions, just jewelry auctions, because Casey used to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got into this and met so many wonderful people. And then I guess once I met NASCAR, he brought me to the storage, to the resellers. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness, he just tarnished me.
I just think it's nice because, you and I don't necessarily fit into either community per se, but we love them all and we like to support them all. And
Oh, Craig's trying to get some money.
yeah,
Craig better behave or I'm going to sing happy birthday, and he does not want to hear that.
I did sing happy birthday to him. Where did you hear that when I
I
did?
did, but he don't want me singing it.
Well, You sing better than you think you do.
Not this morning.
It's getting, what time do you guys go on, Craig? What time did they go on their show?
10.
10? All right. We'll stick around maybe till getting on toward 10 and then we'll let them take on over. He said you would be the second one to sing happy birthday to him because I was the first one. I was his first this morning.
Well, if he really wanted to make you happy, he would jump on yours. He jumped on mine before and just overwhelmed me.
Yeah, well, I already got all a little starstruck that he even came into my chat.
Now
So
you know how I feel, Tracy.
yeah,
Isn't it wonderful?
yeah, I was like, the land shark picker's in my chat.
Ah,
Right, Andar. That's just it. We love the Lord mostly. We just like to have some company. Most of us have some issues that keep us away from the work world and gives us our own little community. You're so funny, Craig. There, T's trying to sing through the chat.
I was going to go back to sleep and I thought, no, because I had to do my computer and take it in there in the kitchen and
Hmm.
change, send out notifications. And then I'm like, but I can't just listen. I got to see my Tracy.
Aw, thank you.
you guys,
I appreciate you.
I would hit Tracy up in the mornings to have my coffee before I jump in the car to go see Mama. So I had to get my dose of Tracy in the morning.
Yep. We have to have our morning therapy no matter what we do. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here today, but man, I'm telling you, last night it was storming.
Ours has been on and off. Let me see. Oh, it's beautiful. It looks beautiful here. Um, I hope my dog don't want to OUT anytime soon because that's going to really hurt my head.
Mm,
But yes, my fix,
yeah,
T. Um, Tracy's my Donatella to you.
yeah. It's kind of nice to have just that grounding, someone, another human being to talk to. Like this morning, seriously, that's why I was like, that's why I said I would jump on and do a show this morning, because I was all sitting here at the table waiting, because when I woke up this morning, Wright was already gone. He had to go to work early. So I woke up at 4:30 and he was already gone. And I was like, "God, I didn't even get to talk to a human this morning."
Well, Keith, I heard something going off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I grabbed my phone, and it took me a minute to even turn it to do the chat, open chat forum, like for Facebook. And I
Mhm,
said, what is it? I said, oh my God, why did you let me sleep so late? Because, by then it was already 8 o'clock or five
mhm.
minutes after. And I told him, I said, I think I'll just see if Tracy will do it. I said, I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
But
It is exhausting to sit at the hospital with somebody. It just really
I
is.
didn't realize, and because I don't know, it usually gives me a headache and it brings I don't know if it's being around sick people, but it pulls down my immune system. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes, it does.
But Ricardo, I am going to tell you, I cannot get your hat out of my head. So in my head, I am designing your hat. So I just want you to know, don't purchase one anywhere. Well, you can, but you best not. Ricardo and I are going to swap out baby parts for,
Baby parts for a hat, for
yeah,
a
for
Friday
a
hat.
pirate. I'm going to do him a pirate ship hat.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And I've got it in my mind. He wants like a sword going through it, and I even have the idea to do like a little box on top of the little, what would you call it, the treasure
Oh,
box.
the treasure chest.
Yeah, the treasure chest.
Yeah,
So
you could have
so
jewels spilling out of the
yeah,
treasure chest. That would be
yeah,
cool.
coins. So yes, Ricardo, one side's going to have the sword, the other side's going to have a lopsided treasure chest. So see, I'm telling you, I've got your hat in my head. And you get last night, you guys, 11 o'clock. I went in there and took out one of my hats and one that's kind of been on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and I put a flower in it. And Casey said, "Mom, what are you doing?" Because I was standing in the closet with the
Mm-hmm.
light on. And I said, "I'm trying to design my hat lights for tomorrow." I said, "You know how I can't go to sleep until I get that out of my head?" He said, "Well, just to let you know, don't mess that up. That's the de la Renta." I said, "I know what it is. I got that from Patsy Crafty. Somebody won it and sent it to me,
Aw,
and it's beautiful. And I had this big, beautiful flower, and then this morning I just couldn't.
yeah.
But
I totally get it.
I look
Totally get it.
forward, I look forward to it. I look forward to every day seeing you guys.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I do too, and it's hard when we're not on because it's like something. It's my morning therapy, as I say to Ryan every day. I'm like, this is my morning therapy. I get to talk to some people who are like-minded individuals. We are all a little bit crazy, but we're all a little bit broken, and we all have a good time together.
And Tracy, what is that that you reposted about the weirdos?
Yeah, you got to stick close to all the weirdos in your life because that's your tribe, the ones that accept you for who you are.
I love that. I love
That's
that
the
thing about.
tribe. You guys are my tribe.
Ah,
Oh, I don't know what it is about my grandson, Callan, but he is his father's son, and sometimes he's back in now. Sometimes when he goes outside, even though I quiz him about the boundaries of our yard, I still worry.
oh yeah,
There's a tree in the front of our yard and a tree at the back of our yard, and those are the boundaries. Can't go past either tree. And not too close to the neighbor's house because, the kind of houses that we live in, you don't want to be throwing anything up against her house because if the skirting dents, she has to, although it's not the same when the first time we lived in a trailer years and years and years ago when our kids were first like really little, they had metal
yeah,
skirting. So anything that you would hit the skirting with would dent it. Now it's more like a vinyl skirting, so it's easy enough to pop it out, but I
yeah.
don't want to have.
We got some of that siding on our house that they show you could beat with a baseball bat,
Yep.
and it's mighty strange. I think the first time when we used to have people cut the grass, there was a hole in it from I guess
Hmm.
a rock. I'm like,
Oh
really?
yeah, you can beat it with the baseball bat and nothing's gonna happen, but hit it with the weed whacker and you'll pop a hole right in it.
Well, there's something cracked on the front and on our front porch here, and we have a actual big porch. And I'm like, what caused that?
Yeah,
So,
I don't
but
know.
yeah, I wasn't able. Now Casey had his boundaries. It had to be him and Tiffany both. The next door neighbors, the kids were a year older than both my kids, so a year older than Tiffany, a year older than Casey. The boy
Hmm.
was. So they could play between the yards. So they had a big area because, playing
Yeah.
between both yards. And until Casey, I'd hear him out there, him and Richard would start fussing, and I would have
Hmm.
to tell Casey come in his own yard and behave. But
Yep.
they still, I was able to peep out the window in every part of, while I was cleaning.
Mhm.
But you guys, I still worried because it was a different world than when I was a kid. Now it's
Oh,
more,
yeah, we used to run all over the neighborhood.
now it's scarier, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and my neighbor lady next door, which is on the edge of my yard, she's the sweetest person. She's a very sweet lady, but I think she hasn't really opened up a lot. She I think she was in a really abusive relationship prior to purchasing this home on her own. I know she had just gotten a divorce when she purchased this home. And she is just very paranoid. And so I don't want the kids to scare her, to not intentionally, but to frighten her.
Because she could be very well going through what Destiny shared.
Right, right, exactly.
I must
And
have been too mean for my ex-husband because he hurried up and got out of the way when I told him I wasn't his first wife. He best not even try. So he didn't.
mhm,
He didn't come back around, and he didn't. I mean, and he gave Tiffany up. That's not funny, but I mean, he didn't try me. So
mhm,
because I sure did tell him I was not his first wife.
mhm. I was Ryan's first wife. Still am.
I've always been wife number two. I've always, well, wife number two. But that's okay. I'm keeping second and last.
I was gonna say second, and that's the end of the line for Kevin. I think part of my deal was that my mom was married and divorced twice. My dad was living with what would become his fourth wife when we got re in touch with him. And so my dad was married to his fourth wife when he passed away. So I saw that for an example, and I was so careful that when I knew that when I got married, I would never do it again. This was a once and only for me.
Well, my parents they never remarried. But but my first husband, his mom had married, oh my good, three times, maybe four times. And his dad married twice.
Hmm.
And he just didn't take marriage serious. But
Yeah.
and then now he's on wife number five.
Oh yeah, bae.
Oh, and she thinks when I went to my sister in law's ex sister in law to the hospital,
Hmm.
um, I sure wish I could have seen her beforehand. But when I went there I was with wife number four and wife number five. So
Hmm.
it was two, four, and five. And I'm glad I didn't run into him. But, on my way out, my ex sister in law, she said, "Don't you want to wait for him?" I said, "Oh my," and you guys, I, I, I'm saying this. You guys all know my face and know my eye gesture. This is what I said. Oh my God. Why would I want to do that?
No kidding.
Is the last person that I'd want to see. And they're saying, and I knew that was his wife sitting there.
Hmm.
And I sat in front of his mom, and his mom knows how I am. And and but before I even said that, wife number five started to get up. She looked really nervous, and she stuck out her hand.
You can see in the
And
background.
And she said, I said, I know who you are. I said, your wife number five. And she sat down, didn't even stand all the way up. And she sat down and she said, yeah, I'm number five. But she said, I'm the last one because I'm meaner than the first ones.
Oh, really?
And so I
Wow.
said, I looked at my ex mother in law. And I leaned down and I laughed. I said, she just must not have heard the stories of me, right? And she got tickled. Especially when she said, "I'm yes, I'm wife number five, but I'm the last." And his mom said, "Yeah, we'll see."
I hate to say it, but some people, like you said, some people just don't take marriage seriously. I
Yeah.
worry about that. My son, my oldest son, is one of those people, and he's getting married again in 8 days for the third time. And I wish, and I've begged and I've pleaded for him to wait another year or so because he's at that stage in a relationship where he starts to devalue the relationship.
Mm.
And so I'm afraid that they're going to get married and then things are just going to continue to go downhill. And
What is it?
it's
Yeah.
just, I just don't think, I don't think Ben understands what it means to really, truly love somebody. I just don't think he does.
And that's sad because then I have Casey that um he can't have a relationship because of his inward
Hmm.
um convictions that he has to stay single. But he wishes that he had a love like me and his dad. So I always say, what greater thing than for your kids to say, I wish I had the love like yours and dad's.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you guys, you see me every Monday through Friday, even sometimes in and out on weekends, or jump in on Joy's, looking like a hot, sweaty mess. And then jump in on Destiny's fireside uh, chat because Derek talked smack, and I just had to jump through there and talk smack to him. But I am every day who you see,
Mm,
and so sometimes when the outward wants to really be ugly, I don't know. I have to fight it, and I still have a sarcasm
mhm,
about me. I still have a sarcasm about me that's most of the time kept in check. Some of it is a fun sarcasm,
mhm,
and I would not have treated wifey number five the way I did had she not jumped in when Abriana was born and sent me a friend's request to try to see pictures of my grandchild.
Hmm.
He gave up that right.
yeah,
Tiffany didn't have Abrona till she was 30. He gave up that right 29 years ago. And it
Yeah.
wasn't even him. Nobody, no other wife bothered me, never tried to contact me or nothing.
mhm,
But this wife number five, I don't know what she was thinking. But I think she must have been schooled because she sat down real quick, mid stand, she sat back down. Casey said, Mama, you had to eat when we got on the elevator. He still knew I was upset, but I was still trying to push all of it down. I,
uh-huh,
I said, how'd I do? He said, you did good, Mama. You almost. So I said, Casey, did I do the finger thing? He said, yes, you did. I said,
mm,
oh my gosh. Did I do the finger thing and the head thing? He said, yes, you did. I said, oh my gosh.
that is too funny.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's,
Well, you were attacked. You felt vulnerable.
it
attack. So
it
you were
uh
defending yourself.
yeah, and I did. I mean, I didn't say anything to the girl, woman, a girl about, why'd you um try to see pictures of my grandbaby. But I didn't say none of that. But dang it, she didn't send me another friend's request, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Now I am friends with Keithan's ex-wife. We are.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's different if you are friends. Like my mom and
no,
my
we weren't.
dad's fourth wife are friends.
Yeah. Well, different relationships develop
Yeah,
into
I
things
mean,
that you don't know. I mean,
we shared my stepdaughter. She and it was like Brandy had two moms. She was never pulled between mom and dad
yeah,
Right.
during the custody stuff. She had two moms. But because I saw what type of person and so troubled my Kevin's ex-wife is, he still is, the emotional damage, even back then, during all of our mess, I could see, I'm able to see somebody's pain. So I was able to see how sad her life was, even through the bad things.
yeah.
So I was able to
So,
love her. I
so
had to.
on that. Yeah.
I
Mm.
had back then. I would write in when I would do prayer requests. They'd do prayer requests at church, and I'd write them down. I always wrote down for her
Mhm.
because I had to love her. To be a Christian, I had to love her, and that's what I sometimes don't understand. How I can have a profound love for this person, but be snarky about another person. I don't like snarky, you guys. I don't like to ever feel that way.
Yeah.
Destiny said we're a safe place, us in Porch Church.
Mhm.
So
I
I
hope
never,
people feel that way because we try to not be judgmental. We try to be accepting of everybody, find something good in everybody.
We're not
yeah,
we're not perfect,
No, we're not.
but we hopefully we can continue to help people and have a good outlook and encourage people in their lives because we
Mhm.
all need that from time to time.
well,
And you know,
we went
I mean,
through McDonald's. We had to get up real early Tuesday morning for surgery. We went through McDonald's, and this young girl, she took the money, gave him the receipt, even, and she really didn't do eye contact. And he said, "Well, thank you." And I said, "Well, she might not be awake yet, babe."
yeah,
So then we came back through a second time when I was bringing him back, and so I could go back. I had to bring him to work, and when
Mhm.
I went back through, I made a point. I said, "Oh, there! You didn't know you was going to see me again, did you?" Well, yesterday morning I went through and it was her. And I said, "Well, good morning." Said,
Good morning, Memphis Matt. Good morning to you. Good morning, Memphis Matt. Good morning to you.
I'm clapping Memphis Matt. But I made a point. I said, good morning. I said, let me see a smile. And then she kind of looked at me and I said, I know. I said, I imagine it's hard. I said, to smile. I said, I know how people can be. And then she smiled. She said, yes, ma'am. I said, well, you know what? If you don't have another one, I said, I'm glad you smiled at me and I'm smiling at you and showing you the love. And she had the biggest smile
yeah,
because it had already been a bad morning for
yeah,
her.
Mhm.
yeah,
So I had to say a prayer, as I was leaving and all the way to the hospital. I was praying. for not just, I started out for her, but for everybody that goes through the drive-through because they're going to a job they don't like.
Mhm.
So they're already unhappy. So then, I used to dread going into work. I used to hate it. And sometimes I wanted to play hooky and just go sit at the river and
Mm.
just sit there. And now I don't work. And if I go to the river, it's going to scare Casey. He'd be like, Mom, where you at? I'm sitting at the river.
Stay there. Don't budge. Don't move. Don't move a muscle. Just don't move. I'm
Yeah.
coming.
So, I mean, you guys
Yeah.
pray. You guys pray for pray for the people that are going out there.
Yeah. And
For
sometimes
sure.
when a person's having a bad day, the first person they encounter is the one that gets it. You know, after the bad incident happens, whether it's the frown on their face or the gruffness in their voice or the impatience that is just oozing all over the place in
Mm.
their what do you call their aura or their being. Yeah.
The next person gets it.
The people who are in the service industry, like that young lady at the drive-through, they get it both barrels all the time.
Yes.
So I like you, Darlene. I pull up and offer a smile and a hey, how you doing? God bless your day. And my goal, if somebody doesn't have a smile, my goal is to get them to smile before I leave. And every time I see them, or whoever it is at the windows, hey, how you doing today? Or
Mm.
hey, ladybug, or hey, sweetie pie, or
Yeah. Hey,
or
lady. That's why I say, hey, girlfriend.
there
Hey,
you
my
go.
girl.
And just it's my goal is to make sure that they have a smile on their face at some point during that conversation, just like you're talking about. And then I've noticed that the ones that were really sour when they first got in that spot at the windows, as I go through there, over time, it's like they look forward to seeing you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing them too, and I'll let them know that, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been hiding? They stuck you in the back or what?
Yeah.
And so I'll laugh and
Well, they
whatever.
look forward to it because they know they're going to get a good response from you,
Well,
instead of
they,
being yelled at
that,
or dragged down.
well, even if they make a mistake, they'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Hey, we're all human. We make mistakes. Don't worry about it. You got it.
Mhm.
I've got what I need. It's all fine. You know,
Yep.
don't let it bother you. We're all human.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not perfect at that either. Like as far as I try to have the good attitude. There's some days I'm not in the mood to have the good attitude, but it helps me get in the mood. So anyway, yeah, I'm not meaning to brag or anything like that. I'm just identify with you, Darlene, in that
Mhm.
people
I think it's important to be
love people
kind.
all the time.
It's important to be kind to people in the service industry because they do have to put up with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And
Yes,
if we can be the good, then that's one less person that's going to be bad or ugly to them.
right. I've been on the other side of that counter before in a retail situation, not with food, but with other stuff, and I've been the first person they encounter whenever whenever something went wrong. The department I worked in was right by the door that everybody came in, and so I guess they thought my desk was the complaint desk. So I'd have to listen to them and let them blow off steam and say, well, you really need to go speak to such and such, and I'm sure they can help you with this. If I could help you, I would, hon. I can't. You're gonna have to go over there.
Ladies, I'll be right back. Somebody's
Okay.
telling me that it's time for them to go, for a better word, PEE.
Mhm.
Well, tell Momo, hey, we love her.
No,
I don't. I
not
know.
Bailey,
her. I'm
Bailey,
daily. Mama, hey, Mama's able to get up, you guys.
No,
Mama,
no, that was just in passing along the way. I wasn't meaning.
I don't have to
I
take
didn't
Mama
realize what that
outside,
sounded like.
outside to do her business. Hey, wait, we do have the outhouse out back.
You could take her outside to do her business.
Well, let's not do that. Poor Mama.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, Tracy, I'm so happy you came on to do this live stream.
I needed it today.
I'm glad you came on. And my phone, I started off with about 95%, by the time I got to my daughter's house. And by the time I'm checking different things and next thing you know, you get caught up in something and you realize, oh, I'm kind of running my battery down. I need to save my battery in case we get on today. I know I'm on, and it's like 58%, or no, I'll take that back. It was 62% when I first got on with you.
Yeah, but it goes fast when you're online.
It just started dying. So anyway.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much a fully chargeable battery. I mean, it says it's still at 100% or 99% at least, the full charge. So anyway.
Yeah, but
one of those things in life that some of these things just require so much more power, and this is one of them.
Right.
Anything YouTube drains the battery quickly.
Yeah. Even watching a YouTube video can drain your battery really quick.
I usually carry my charger with me in the mornings when I go. And now, since we've got a little bit different schedule with her bus, I can get a better charge. But when I was there, I didn't need a charge.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take it with me this morning.
Yeah.
So
kind of like the kid that you asked, do you got to go before we leave? Try to go before we leave.
Exactly.
Just the minute you leave, I gotta go.
Yeah, 5 minutes down the road. Especially, I better not say that. I was going to say especially little boys, but
yeah,
they both have the same thing. They do it too.
I've only had boys, so that's all I can relate to.
Well, they both have their moments.
I only had sons. I only had 2 boys, and now I have 3 grandsons. So it's like, I guess that's all I'll ever have experience raising is boys. But I think when Darlene comes back, I'm gonna start to wrap this up because I do need to get back on the phone and try to get a hold of that doctor today.
Yes.
Try to get that handled.
That's imperative. But
because I do need
an hour and a half, so
to find out what in the world is going on.
Yes.
And that's a little bit of a frustration because it's like, at this point, I'm in limbo. I have no idea. And the doctor gave me this big long lecture about going straight to the ER if I have bleeding anywhere. And I know full well that if I go, they're just going to say, well, we'll do this and this, but then just wait for your appointment with the hematologist. So it's just a waste of time to go.
Right. Waste time and money.
Yeah. Good morning to Debbie. Good morning to you. Good morning to Debbie. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, everybody else in the chat. I know I've missed so many people, and I didn't.
We have Memphis Matt and Ricardo and Debbie just came in. Debbie, thank you. That's what I was just saying, that I'm gonna try to, when Darlene comes back, she went to take Bailey outside. When she comes back, I'm gonna kind of wrap this up because I need to get on the phone and work again today on getting that appointment with the hematologist scheduled because we still don't know what's going on. I went and had more lab work done yesterday because they required it before they would make an appointment. So now that's done, let's get an appointment scheduled. And I'm forward enough when it comes to my health that I've had people that I know that have used like medical advocates. I don't need a medical advocate. I do very well on my own.
Stand up and bang that shoe on the counter.
Yeah.
Hey, pay attention to me.
Yep. I do very well just saying, look, this is really getting on my last nerve. We need to get this handled. I'm not gonna keep doing this.
Yeah. Answers. We need answers. And just me standing here talking to you, we're not getting answers.
Mhm. Memphis Mant says he has a wonderful idea for all of us today and every day, but especially today. And
Okay.
Debbie says, what is it, Matt? Yeah, what is it, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah. What is it, Matt?
What are you doing, Callan? Getting any Go-Gurt? Yeah. Okie dokie. Don't forget to throw the wrapper away. 6-year-olds tend to have litter problems in my house.
Yes, I
That's
understand.
true.
We fight that with ours too.
You know, I always try to make sure that they have, you can use that trash right there.
Yeah, we've got ample trash cans around too.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, and we try to keep everything available and plenty
Yeah.
visible, but they forget, and fruit
Oh,
snack
I'm back.
wrappers get left and yogurt
Yeah.
wrappers get
I'm back.
left. All struggle together. Romans 15:30-33. What is that? I'm gonna look that up real quick, Matt.
Matt, I hope you are the right one that I
Oh, wait a minute.
subscribed to on Facebook. I hope that was you. I think it's you. Hey, Debbie, I love you.
Romans 15:30-33. All right, Matt put a Bible reference in the chat, and I'm going to read it. Romans 15:30-33.
Okay.
So I urge you, brothers, by our Lord Jesus Christ and by the love of the Spirit, to join me in the struggle by your prayers to God on my behalf, that I may be delivered from the disobedient in Judea, and that my ministry for Jerusalem may be acceptable to the holy ones, so that I may come to you with joy by the will of God and be refreshed together with you. The God of peace be with all of you. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. That's very good. All right, Darlene, I was talking while you were gone about Mama is doing okay, Debbie. She is home resting. I think I'm gonna wrap it up so that I can get on the phone and start bugging them about that appointment.
Smart move.
Not what I really want to do, but it's what
Yeah,
I
well,
should do.
sometimes we're forced to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie Sales said, remember the doctors work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as Mom, all of you guys, she had enough antibiotics in her that I believe she's probably doing pretty good. So, um, her foot, she'll go back Monday morning. Either me or Casey will take her. So, I believe you guys continue prayers for her. I believe she's going to have good healing, and that's what I'm going to stand on.
Yes.
Good healing from
Absolutely.
Standing on that promise. Yep.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I love you one and all. Thank you so much to everyone that came over to my channel. I appreciate you so, so very much. And Monday, bright and early at 8:30-ish,
Yep.
we should be back on Darlene's channel.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, look, I'm doing the heart symbol.
Okay.
You see, I
You
threw
do
my
have
heart.
a heart up there.
I'm trying.
Much love to
Much
everybody.
love to everyone. Yes. God's blessings
I love
on
you
your
all.
day and your weekend.
Love
Yeah,
you guys.
love you
Love you
too.
all.
Have a great, great, great. Are you going to go on Monday with that being a holiday, or are you going to go on Tuesday?
Oh, that's right. Um, I'll see what Kevin says.
See what the weekend brings.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You guys just watch. I'll ask him what he thinks. If he's going to be busy, then I will probably wait till Tuesday, art therapy Tuesday.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. I'll
We'll
either
play
tell
it by
them
ear.
I'll either schedule one or not. If I don't
Okay.
schedule it,
Okay. Well, we won't hold you to anything. So,
All right. We'll keep an eye out. Love
yeah.
you all very much.
bye, you guys.
Goodbye.
Have a good day, everybody.
Yes. Thanks for letting me come on.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.